Pregame.com.
I'm Vegas Runner, here with Dustin once again, breaking down the HBO title fight. Andre Berto, Jan Zaveck. Who do you like? Why do you like him?
Well, for this one, I got to go with Andre Berto again. I think we're going to see a better Berto. Now, I knew there was something wrong with him in his last fight against Ortiz, but I couldn't figure out what it was. But you told me earlier today that there was a condition, so I'll wait for you to say that. You know, as you told me, it was a surprise to me. So.
Yeah, stamina issues. They've always said he has stamina issues. And at first it was attributed to he's just explosive. You know, he comes out too hyped and he's
too much muscle.
Yeah, and he's just a power fighter. He's not a boxer. You know, quick hands, but he uses power. But after the Ortiz fight, he got a call the next day by Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather told him, dude, you just didn't look right. Something was wrong with you.
And he was ringside that fight. So.
Exactly. And what happened? Berto went and got checked out, finds out he's anemic, didn't even know about it, and has been spending the last couple months in California with a conditioning coach, with doctors, trying to get it, under control and really work on his stamina more than anything else.
That was going to lead to, I think, the better Berto. Now that we know this about him, it makes you think back on all of his last fights, like what you said with the stamina issues, because he looked completely drained and gassed by the fourth round of the Ortiz fight.
Yeah, exactly.
And then even in the fight before, even against Collazo,
he looked completely drained as it gets late.
So I think now that he knows how to control this, because there are other fighters that have anemia that are fighting now, and once you know how to control it and work with it, I think we're gonna see that.
The line right now is a little over 400. I think it's only going to go up. Casual bettors don't know Jan Zaveck, even though he's the IBF title holder. He's fought primarily in Europe. This will be his first time in the U.S. This fight was supposed to happen last year. It was offered to HBO, Berto versus Zaveck. HBO turned it down. Instead, pitted Ortiz with Berto. Berto, they wanted him to win that fight. He's the HBO fighter.
Right.
Ortiz gets the win, spoils that plan. He parlays that win into a mega fight with Floyd Mayweather. And now here's Berto in a comeback fight against same Jan Zaveck that HBO didn't want to showcase. And now here they are headlining Saturday Night's fight.
Well, I know the odds are really high right now, but I still think Zaveck is a live dog. I mean, he's not a bum, but he does have a belt, so he can't be that bad. But again, he's European. So.
Yeah, he defended it 3 times.
Right, but he's the European, and no offense to my European fans out there, but the Europeans are just not as good as the American fighters. They just don't have the farm there, So
I'll tell you what, I think that Zaveck is a live dog, but not at this time in his career.
Correct.
Meaning he's 35 right now.
Right.
He could have easily stayed in Europe and took 3-4 more fights and kept that IBF title. But I think he came to the realization, it's now or never. Let me cash in on having this IBF title, and let me go to the United States. On the flip side, as much as styles make fights, this was a hand-picked opponent for Berto's comeback.
Absolutely.
Zaveck has no jab. He's the kind of fighter that is able to close the distance nicely. I went back, looked at the last couple fights he had. He can close the distance, but he does it behind hooks.
Right.
He throws hooks.
And they're wide.
That leaves him wide open to counters, and it leaves him open to the best weapon Berto has, which is that uppercut. I think he's going to have all night to land it. With that said, I think Zaveck puts up a fight at least early on because he is aggressive and he comes at you. But I think the best way to handicap this fight is to take it one step further than just breaking down styles and matchups and doing what I've been trying to learn lately in the fight game, and that's politics, because a lot of results end up being political, and nothing supports that more than seeing Paul Williams win over Lara in his comeback fight.
Yeah.
Now, Berto is handled by Lou DiBella, DiBella Entertainment. Their number one money winner is Berto.
Right.
Because they have Sergio Martinez in the stable, but he can't get a fight.
Fight
So he's not going to
mandatories.
bring in any money for your
Right.
company.
Right.
The only person they have left in that stable that could attract any money is Berto. Now, Berto losing to Ortiz drops him down a notch. They needed to have him relevant again in the welterweight division because that's where all the action is. That's where the money fights are right now.
Right.
I don't think Lou DiBella, with all his experience, was going to put Berto in the ring against a fighter that poses any real risk. I think Jan Zaveck is a hand-picked opponent for Berto. I think his style is perfect for Berto to look extraordinary.
Absolutely.
And possibly have one of those devastating knockout wins. So personally, I'd love to be able to say there's value in bet the dog because we all have heard the term valued and we always heard Berto's overrated.
Right.
He's not a boxer and you put him in with a technician and a technician will pick him apart because he's a puncher and he's a guy who uses hand speed and power. But I think this sets up perfectly for Berto to win.
Yeah, no, this is, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be so much his uppercut in this fight. I think it's going to be his right hand. I think, a cross or a straight right. I think that's what's going to be it because of Zaveck's wide hooks.
He's just going to counter him.
He's just going to catch him with that. That's what it's going to be. And just like you said, this is a confidence fight. This is to get Berto back on the map fight. So,
what better way to do that
absolutely.
than giving him a title? Like he could win a fight and try to get his name back in the mix. But if you have the IBF welterweight title, you're automatically in the mix.
That's right.
And with Sergio Martinez not being able to get a fight, DiBella has to protect his fighter, his breadwinner. So I don't think he'd put him in a fight that threatens him just yet, unless it was a huge payday. And I don't think this is that kind of payday, Jan Zaveck.
No, I think this is an expectation of a knockout. Spectacular, look spectacular, and let's get Berto a belt back, or a belt, and then let's get him another good mandatory or a good
Say
up-and-comer.
we've tightened up his defense.
Right.
We took care of his stamina issues.
Exactly. He's already had power. So.
Yeah, all that potential that everyone talked about, he still has it.
Right.
He
will.
Don't let the Ortiz fight, knock him back any.
Yeah, Berto will deliver.
You think he will?
Absolutely, yeah. Especially now that he can get his mental condition under control. He knows how to do it. He's with specialists now that can help him.
The one thing that worried me before we wrap this up is that Berto hasn't faced an orthodox fighter in years. I think the last time he fought a right-handed orthodox fighter was back in 2008 when he fought Steve Forbes. Forbes took him to the distance and created some problems. Since then, he's fought all left-handed fighters. Guys.
Forbes has got a chin, though.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm saying he's gone up against nothing but left-hand dominant fighters. Even Urango is a orthodox fighter who's truly a left-hander.
Right.
He just fights out of the orthodox stance. But he fought all lefties, in his last couple years. You think Zaveck, with that European boxing style, Zaveck's the better boxer. If this was an Olympic-style boxing match, I'd probably take the plus money with Zaveck, to be honest with you. In a boxing match, he'll beat Berto, but I don't think he could beat him in a fight.
No.
Do you think that being a right-hander is going to cause problems?
Not at all. This is going to be hand tailored, like you said, hand picked. This is going to be a washout. Berto to win for sure. I think it's going to definitely be knockout around the 7th or 8th round.
Yeah, there are guys that disagree. I'm reading a lot of boxing writers when I did research for this fight that say exactly what you said. Zaveck's a live dog that at plus 300. It's an absolute bet you have to make. I don't see it that way.
No, I don't either.
I'm willing to say I think, the best bet is to actually bet Berto. And I know it takes money to make money, brother. So sometimes you don't want to lay chalk, but if that's where the money is, if that's where the value is, then you have to do it. You can't worry about laying those numbers. If the true odds of Berto winning this fight are minus 700 and I only have to lay 4, I'll do that every single day. And I think in this case, the more work I do, the more I uncover the politics behind this.
Yeah.
I just think Berto's where the value is.
I agree with you.
I have to step up and say this is premium potential right here.
Yeah.
Andre Berto, lay the chalk, easy money Saturday night. Andre Berto will be your IBF welterweight champion after Saturday night. Lay the chalk. That's a premium.